Welcome to Building Your Best Brain podcast. My name is Sylvie and I'm a neuroscientist and yoga meditation teacher. If you're familiar with the work that I do on this podcast as well as my social media account, you know that I'm a big believer in meditation at the level of our entire health, but in particular, the health of our nervous system. And I talk quite a bit about, how to implement a practice, how to have a practice in your day-to-day life, how to maintain a meditation practice, what meditation even is. This is different. I am going to share with you 5 reasons why a meditation practice might not be for you. This might sound really negative. The intention is not negative, and I think this is really going to help a lot of you. So let's just get into it. One reason why meditation practice might not be for you is because you think it is good for you. The reason is because it falls under, the things that you should do. When you're like, I should go to the gym, or I should eat more green vegetables, blah, 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 right? There's lots of logic behind it. It makes sense. But how often do we do something because we should do it? So I'm just going to leave that there. I will come back to it at the end. But when it comes to making a habit, right, the shoulds, the logic is not enough. It's just not enough to maintain it. 2, because meditation sounds relaxing. Now, meditation can have calming effects, but this is usually once you have maintained a practice, and there's no guarantee that every time you sit down to meditate that is going to be a relaxing experience. Often, at times, you have quite a bit of discomfort. Oftentimes, you might be sitting with uncomfortable feelings, right? And these are all things that are great for your brain and your health, and a lot of really profound shifts and healing can happen from this place, but it's not going to be relaxing every time. So if this is the only reason why you're doing this, it's not for you. 2 is because it's easy and it gets easier with time. Now, you may think it's easy because it is relatively simple, right? You're seated, you're, listening to a guided meditation or tuning into your breathing. And if you've gotten into a meditation practice, you know this already. It is quite challenging to sit there for an extended period of time. And overall, this does get easier with time, but it's not a linear progression, right? There are certain stages in my life where, even though I've been meditating for many years, it's really uncomfortable. So if you're doing this because you think it's like an easy thing to add to your schedule, no biggie, this is also not for you. The other reason why this isn't for you is if you think that you'll have no thoughts during your meditation. If you're like, I really love to meditate because I want my brain to just flatline on the thoughts, that would be great. It is impossible to have no thoughts. And the thing with meditation, if you're into it or have gotten into it in the past, is you do have fleeting moments where you feel connected and you have this kind of potentially out-of-body experience, potential spiritual experience, and that is really beautiful. But that is definitely not every time, and that is not the entire time. You know what I mean? So if you're looking to do this because you want to put a huge pause on your brain for 10 minutes every day, this is not for you. The last reason I want to share, and then we'll bring it all together. The last reason I want to share why meditation might not be for you is if you're looking for it to be temporary. So let's say you're going through a tougher period or a more stressful period. You're like, why don't I have a meditation practice for a month? And then it'll be good. My brain will be healed. I can move right along. Having a meditation practice to get the benefits that I talk about in all the studies that I share is a lifestyle. It is a almost everyday practice. If you're looking for something to temporarily hold you over to the next thing, meditation's not it. Pick something else. if you're still with me, because I haven't triggered you to the point that you've turned this off, sweet, hi, welcome. Totally fine if you have these misconceptions. If you have these misconceptions and you're like, you know what, it's cool, but do I actually want this? A meditation practice, the way that you can incorporate it in a way that'll stick is because you think a meditation practice will make you feel a certain way, right? So, I mean, there's lots of things that we can do in our day and things that we don't do in our day, often because they're going to make us feel a certain way. The key here, the missing piece here often is to really emotionally connect to what we think a consistent, lifelong, profound healing meditation practice will do for us. As you're deciding, doing the challenging thing, which is to implement a meditation practice, right? It is hard to integrate something else into our day. It's hard to establish a new habit. It's hard to make an addition to our already super busy life. So if you've decided that after, listening to all this, that it's still important to you and you're ready to take it on, you need to be crazy emotionally rooted to what you think that's going to give you. Because inevitably you're going to miss a meditation one day. Inevitably you're going to sit there being uncomfortable as hell, being like, why did I decide that this was important? And as your already formed circuits are firing, being like, why are we doing this? Like, this is not a part of our routine. Like, this is useless. Let's just cut this out. You tap into the emotional part, the emotional circuit that you have and you're forming, and say, no, I'm doing this so that, embody the feelings, so that there is a sense of peace, so that there is I can sit through uncomfortable things and be more resilient than I ever was before, right? So that I can show up in the world and be more present, right? That was the big thing for me with my meditation practice initially, was being more present and less reactive. Now, if you're like, that sounds fine, but in the moment, how am I going to tap into that? Or how do I even figure out what it is about a meditation practice that's going to bring me that emotion? What is the emotion? What are you even saying? What I'm going to do to help is to drop some journal prompts here. And what the journal prompts are going to do is they're going to help you visualize what you think a meditation practice is going to give you. And through this visualization process, it's gonna come up what the feelings and qualities are that you think is gonna give you. And then it's going to give you cues and markers and things to grab onto when it gets. And if you need, I think I'll give you one bonus quality that I think people don't often think about when it comes to implementing a consistent meditation practice, is that it is a beautiful form of self-love and commitment. Because you're saying that you're important, you're saying that you're worth showing up for, and that you love and commit to yourself, whether your meditation practice is 2 minutes, whether it's an hour, whether it's sitting down, whether it's walking around, whether you've missed a day or you've been consistent for a year, that you love yourself unconditionally and you're going to continue to show up for yourself. And when you start feeling like that consistently, shit around you changes. Changes. So if you have any questions about what we just chatted about the journal prompts that I've put down, if you want examples, write it in the comments, message me on Instagram at Synaptic Sylvie. I'm happy to dive into this further, and I will see you next time. Thank you for your attention, and continue to follow along for tips on how to build your best brain.